The Israel-Hamas war stoking protests across the U.S. at various college campuses.
Wisconsin's governor is calling a march by neo-Nazis through downtown Madison truly revolting.
In September 2023, Tribe Journal visited the University of Wisconsin-Madison to hear how the conflict in Israel is shaping Jewish identity on campus. The interviews were filmed before the October 7th massacre, making them even more relevant today as polarizing tensions heat up across the world. Although many students we asked have not experienced any anti-Semitism, these stories stood out amongst the crowd. If you would like to sponsor a series taking a closer look at campuses during these tumultuous times, please reach out to us at info@tribejournal.org.
It was International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and they had an apartheid wall. And on the apartheid wall, it said, "Israel is the founder of genocide." And I told him that it's deeply offensive on International Holocaust Day to be using such language that evokes emotion. The first guy I talked to was actually really nice, and his buddy came over, and then he was kind of vicious.
If I've ever said, like, I'm Jewish, or, oh, I went to Israel last year, I really got to be careful about who I'm talking to, because sometimes I'll get these people who want to yell at me about the geopolitical situation that's going on there as if that has something to do with my religion and my faith and, you know, what I believe in.
The greatest threat to Jewish identity on campus, I think, are those kind of protests, because they're so loud. They always have a lot of people back them up, and you kind of feel like, what am I doing? Is it like something about me? You know, but it's not.
The Party for Socialism and Liberation is in solidarity with the Palestinian
They're just
people.
Out there, free Palestine booths, and like, Zionism is genocide. I always tuck my star into my shirt when I walk by them. My parents were born in Iran. My grandfather was on the blacklist. He was being hunted down mostly because of religious persecution. So they had to get out, and I'm more like aware, and I'm more like scared of what people are capable of, kind of.
The university itself does a pretty good job of mitigating hate, standing up against it. You do see a lot of it. The biggest example probably I've seen since being here was over Halloween, and we get a text saying that there's some sicko on the street just dressed up as Adolf Hitler, like screaming all these hateful kind of things. I'm in a Jewish organization. We have a big group chat of most of them in it are fellow Jews. I don't know if I can use a lot of the language we use there now. It was free speech. There's nothing anyone could have done about it because he was expressing himself. It was traumatizing in a sense. It's weird to think that you come to this place where you have every opportunity in front of you, and yet there's still just so many people out there that will hate you merely because of something you believe in. It was very empowering to see people I don't even know stand up against this guy and be like, he sucks, you know?
Judaism on campus here, it's very welcoming. There's a lot of small opportunities where, you know, if you're a Jewish student on campus and you want to kind of meet a community, if you want to get to know more Jewish students, there's a lot of opportunities around here, and they're not hard to access. From Chicago, a very big city, and it's a little bit harder to make those connections, so I like that I can do that on this campus. I'm Jewish, okay? I've been to Israel. I've told people that I'm Jewish before. I've gotten responses like, you're not Jewish. There's no way. There's no black Jews. They're all white Israelis. And I'm like, okay, no. Anti-Semitism has definitely happened on this campus. I've seen things online, you know, Instagram stories, you get an email here or there when something insane happens. But the only thing that I've ever witnessed personally firsthand was freshman year. A really good friend who is Israeli, and she was in town with her family members. And, you know, they're wearing traditional, like, Israeli garb, you know, long dresses and whatnot. And they're getting yelled at, kind of saying things like, you know, it's not Israel, it's Palestine. They were like yelling at her about calling her a Zionist and saying all these things. And, you know, politics out of the way, it had nothing to do with her just walking down the street wearing that dress. And I honestly felt that that was pretty anti-Semitic, because it was just because she's Jewish. That's the only reason anyone was yelling at her.
It affects Jewish identity because if someone's worried about going on Instagram and seeing a barrage of anti-Israel things and they relate Israel to their identity, they're not going to feel as comfortable wearing a Jewish star necklace because they don't want to be the other. It's very easy to go with mob mentality, and if all your friends are talking about how terrible Israel is and you associate Israel with Judaism, it makes it hard to be a Jew on campus.
I feel like it positively influences my Jewish identity because it's like, if people are gonna come at me with all this back talk and all this aggressive behavior for something that I clearly am not doing, then all that means is that, they're in the wrong place, but I'm doing the right thing. And I know that God's put me on a path towards what I need, and everything happens for a reason, but one thing that's for sure is I'm not gonna let someone's negative words try to steer me away from what I know is right.
I have a lot of confidence in the people that I know around me to be the best person they can be the best friend, best brother, whatever it may be, and just not letting the hate get to us, because that's when we start to break down. When these guys all came together and unified against this dude dressed as Hitler, that was powerful. If we let that get to us, then he got what he wanted out of it. And so just keep showing that power of community. That's all I can say.
I do feel like it personally impacted my Jewish identity because I look more ashamed than I actually am. I'm just trying to be safe. But it comes off definitely as me trying to hide myself or, being ashamed of being Jewish, which I'm obviously not. I love being Jewish. I love Israel. I love speaking Hebrew.
If you're an incoming Jewish freshman, get involved in the Jewish community because it really does just introduce you to so many different people, opportunities, and good food. That above all, great food.
Don't be fazed by other people. They don't matter. You're never gonna see them again.
It's important for Jewish students to figure out why Judaism matters to them.
People are gonna say harsh things, and they might even be able to give you fact. That doesn't mean that should deter your own confidence in what you believe in.
Hatred and rage comes in many forms and against all types of people. How we react and how we confront hatred also differs with every person. It is that mosaic of individual community members that gives the community its uniqueness, its strength, and its diversity. Jewish university students today must be strong and courageous, learn together, and stand together. As the Hebrew calendar 5784 begins and the Gregorian calendar 2023 comes to a close, perhaps the best way to move forward is to look backwards and draw strength from our rich heritage, the challenges those generations endured, and to not only remember where we come from, but also to look upward and move forward where we hope to be. If you would like to sponsor a series taking a closer look at campuses during these tumultuous times, please reach out to us at info@tribejournal.org.